Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Money Cafe America, the podcast for ordinary people trying to make better money choices.
Hey there, I'm Ethan.
And I'm Maya. Today we are looking at the exact moment a perfectly good plan falls apart.
You mean Wednesday? Because that is usually when my good intentions completely vanish.
The week starts with a fresh spreadsheet. Then one pharmacy run breaks the whole thing.
Right, you feel responsible on Sunday night. Then you realize you need household supplies.
Or you agree to grab lunch with a coworker. Suddenly, the math is ruined.
And because it is ruined, you stop looking at the app entirely. It feels like failing a test.
That happens to a lot of people. The budget feels like a strict set of rules. The second you miss a perfect score, you want to quit.
It feels easier to avoid it than to constantly see a red minus sign on your screen.
It is exhausting to feel like you are doing it wrong every week. But the plan may need to be more realistic, not harsher.
Oof. But a budget is supposed to be harsh, right? I thought the point was to stop spending.
That is the quiet reason most of them fail. A budget is not supposed to be a punishment.
It definitely feels like one. If I go $5 over, the app acts like I ruined my future.
Which is why we avoid them. We are talking about general education today, not personal financial advice. But that avoidance is very real.
Honestly, my strategy lately is hoping my card does not get declined. Budgeting feels too heavy.
Today, we will look at why that strict approach breaks down. We can separate the guilt from the numbers.
I would love a plan that actually survives a busy work week. A normal week always feels expensive before anything special even happens.
That is exactly what we will fix. We are going to walk through 3 simple adjustments. These steps make a plan flexible.
Flexible sounds much better than guilty. I just want to know what to do when I mess up the math.
We will cover that. We will also introduce a few basic money terms that change how you see your monthly numbers.
Aha. So I do not have to become a robot who never buys anything enjoyable again.
Definitely not. You just need a model that accounts for being human. By the end of this episode, you will have a realistic plan.
A plan that does not break just because I had to buy toothpaste. That is the dream.
Exactly. We will give you a simple framework you can actually stick to. Have you ever deleted a money app to avoid looking at it?
Only about 4 times this year. It is easier to delete the notification than face the math.
You are definitely not alone. We are going to change how that feels today.
Just hearing that this is common makes me feel a little less embarrassed. I am ready to figure this out.
You keep deleting the app for one main reason. You are treating your budget like a strict exam.
That is exactly what it feels like. One mistake, and I have officially failed money for the week.
Nobody likes taking a test. They know they will fail. But a personal budget is not an exam.
If it is not a test, what is it? The numbers are right there judging me.
Think of a navigation app on your phone. It is simply a map for your month.
Okay, I can picture that. But my financial map always leads me straight into a ditch.
Think about taking a wrong turn while driving. The navigation app does not just shut down.
Wow. No, it just says it is recalculating the route. It does not yell at you.
Exactly. It figures out where you are right now. Then it finds the next best step forward.
Aha. Overspending at the pharmacy is just a wrong turn. The budget should just recalculate.
That is the plain rule we are going to use today. We call it the recalculate rule.
I like that a lot. It removes the heavy guilt completely.
Keep this idea nearby for the next moment money feels loud. Share this episode with someone who stresses over bills.
Knowing you can simply recalculate removes that heavy feeling of failure.
It really does. You do not have to wait until next month to try again.
Which brings up a big question. Why do the numbers always seem so impossible to follow?
Because of a very common mistake. When people build a budget, they build it for a flawless person.
I definitely do that. The guy who builds my budget never gets tired or wants snacks.
Right, but the real you has a draining work week. The real you gets exhausted and buys random takeout.
And because the perfect plan had $0 for takeout, the whole thing shatters immediately.
Which leads to you feeling embarrassed and avoiding the app. The better way is planning for your tired self.
So I should actually put a Tuesday takeout buffer in the monthly plan.
Yes, a realistic budget is much stronger. It beats a fragile budget built for an imaginary perfect life.
That makes so much sense. I always thought budgeting meant stripping away everything until I was miserable.
Budgeting should not feel like a punishment. It is just a tool to keep your stress levels down.
But when the numbers slip, my stress shoots up. The app feels like it is scolding me.
That is why we need the map metaphor. A map never scolds you for taking a detour.
It only cares about finding the next road. That is a much kinder way to look at it.
Exactly. You are not avoiding the math itself. You are simply avoiding a plan that demands absolute perfection.
Oof. That is exactly it. I look at the screen, spot one mistake, and close the app.
The recalculate rule changes your response. If you spend the takeout buffer early, check the map again.
I am just moving a few dollars from another category to cover the difference.
That is all it is. Reality is going to happen whether it is typed into a spreadsheet or not.
So adjusting the numbers does not mean I am failing. It means I am actively managing my money.
That is a huge mental shift. You are simply managing the normal friction of an average American week.
Honestly, this makes the whole issue feel so much more manageable. I do not have to be perfect anymore.
We can take that recalculate rule directly into real life.
I am ready. I want to see how this map works when things actually go wrong.
Let us start with a grocery store scenario.
Oh, my favorite place to accidentally spend too much money.
Right. You are standing in the aisle with a meal plan, but the price of meat jumped.
The chicken alone blows up my weekly food limit.
What is your first instinct when you see that higher price at the checkout?
I buy it anyway. But then I get mad at myself walking to the car.
And what happens to the rest of the weekly budget after that?
I figure the week is ruined. I stop tracking anything.
That is the fragile plan breaking. We are going to use the recalculate rule instead.
So I do not have to put the chicken back and just eat cereal?
No. You buy the food you need, but you adjust the map.
You mean I find the extra $12 somewhere else in the app?
Exactly. You pull it from your entertainment category or your takeout buffer.
That sounds too simple. Is it really just moving a number?
Yes. The practical step is to make the trade before you leave the parking lot.
Wow. I do not carry the guilt home. The plan is simply updated.
It is updated and accurate. Now, there is a realistic limitation here.
I figured there was a catch. What is the limit?
You cannot recalculate if every dollar is locked into a strict mandatory bill.
You need a little bit of flexibility built into the starting numbers.
Exactly. A budget without any cushion will break. Let us try a second scenario.
Bring it on. I am getting the hang of this map concept.
This one happens during a busy work week. You go in for a basic oil change.
And the mechanic walks in holding a very dirty air filter.
Yes. They say you need the filter and new wiper blades. It adds $40.
Oof! That $40 was absolutely not in my monthly vehicle plan.
What does the old version of you do in that waiting room?
I panic. I put it on my credit card and pretend it did not happen.
And the budget app stays perfectly clean, even though reality just changed.
Right, the app says I am doing great. My actual credit card balance disagrees completely.
That is how people end up with surprise debt. They avoid the detour.
So, I need to recalculate while drinking the bad mechanic coffee.
Yes, you accept the detour. You need the car to be safe for work.
But where do I find $40 in the middle of a Wednesday?
Look at the map. Maybe you reduce the weekend spending limit to cover it.
I just shift the $40 over to the car maintenance category.
Exactly. The practical step is admitting the expense exists inside the active plan.
It feels weird to actively plan for a mistake or a surprise.
It is not a mistake. It is just life requiring normal maintenance.
That does remove the shame. But what if there is no $40 to shift?
That is the caution for this step. Sometimes a surprise is bigger than your daily buffer.
What do we do then? Just give up and cry in the waiting room?
No. If the cost is too big to shift, it becomes an emergency fund issue.
Routine repairs are just recalculations. Major blowouts are for the emergency savings.
That is a perfect way to separate them. Let us look at one more scenario.
The grocery store and the mechanic. What else is going to test my map?
Social pressure. It is near the end of the month and things are tight.
I hate this part of the month. I am just waiting for the calendar to flip.
A coworker invites you to a goodbye lunch for a teammate who is leaving.
But my dining out category is empty because of the takeout I bought earlier.
Yes. Your perfect budget says you have exactly $0 for a restaurant.
My first instinct is to say no and sit at my desk feeling isolated.
And if the social pressure is too high to say no?
Then I say yes, go to the lunch, order something cheap, and hate the budget.
Notice how the rigid rules always lead to resentment or avoidance?
It really does. I end up resenting the spreadsheet for keeping me away from people.
Which is why we recalculate. You value this lunch. You want to say goodbye.
So, I have permission to move money to make it happen?
You give yourself permission. The app is just a reflection of your choices.
Where do I pull the money from at the end of the month?
You might have to pull it from next week's grocery money.
That feels a little dangerous. Am I allowed to borrow from the future?
You can, but you must make the trade real. That is the practical step here.
So if I spend $20 at lunch, I literally lower my grocery limit by $20.
Yes. You trade a slightly tighter grocery run for the ability to attend the lunch.
I am making an active choice instead of breaking a rule and hiding.
Exactly. The limitation is that you must actually honor the tighter grocery limit later.
I cannot just pretend I moved the money and then overspend at the store anyway.
Right. Recalculating only works if you follow the new map you created.
That requires honesty, but it is better than feeling guilty at the restaurant.
It turns financial stress into a simple trade. You are just swapping priorities.
I never thought about it as a trade, I only saw it as a test.
Real life is a series of trades. A good plan just helps you track them.
So if I buy chicken, fix the car, and go to lunch, I am not failing.
You are managing your money exactly like an adult should. You are adjusting to reality.
It actually feels empowering to move the numbers around. It means I am in control.
You are the driver. The map simply updates based on where you turn the wheel.
I want to try this, but I am still a little nervous to open the app.
Let us try one concrete mini action. You can do this within the next 24 hours.
Okay. A very small step would be great. What is the action?
Open your budget app when you are completely calm.
Not when I am standing in the checkout line panicking over prices?
Exactly. Sit at home with a coffee. Look at your current categories.
And then what? Just stare at the numbers until they make sense?
Find two categories. Move $5 from one category into the other.
Just $5? Even if I did not actually spend it yet?
Yes, just practice moving the money. Call it a recalculation drill.
Aha! I am teaching my brain that changing the numbers is safe.
You are proving that the plan does not shatter when you make an adjustment.
I can definitely move $5 tonight. That does not feel scary at all.
Once you do it, you will realize the map is yours to easily control.
I actually feel a little more prepared to face my numbers now.
So far, we have completely changed how we look at a budget. It is no longer a strict pass or fail exam.
It is just a map, and when reality forces a detour, I just recalculate the route instead of giving up.
Exactly. You proved that taking a few dollars from a takeout fund to cover a grocery bill is just normal driving.
It feels much better than pretending the detour did not happen while quietly putting it on a credit card.
Let us see how you handle a slightly different roadblock. Imagine your electricity bill arrives higher than last month.
Oh, that happens every summer. The air conditioning always destroys my monthly plan.
Walk me through your recalculation. Where do you find that extra money?
Well, I need the electricity to stay on, so I would probably skip my car insurance payment for a week.
I see why that feels like a quick fix. You are prioritizing the immediate physical comfort of your home.
Exactly. The power company will shut me off faster than the insurance company will notice I am late.
You are right to look for flexibility, and you correctly identified that you need to shift money to cover a utility.
I figured that was the whole point of moving the numbers around.
But there is a flaw in that specific trade. You never want to borrow from a legally required bill.
Oof. Yeah. Driving without insurance is probably not the safest detour to take.
Right. The late fees alone will ruin next month. You have to recalculate using money that is not already locked.
So I need to pull that money from my entertainment fund or my clothing category.
That is the perfect fix. You adjust the flexible numbers to protect the mandatory numbers.
It helps to know which numbers are allowed to be touched. Otherwise, it just feels like stealing from myself.
That brings us to our money terms for today. Knowing the names of these categories makes recalculating much faster.
I am ready. Give me the vocabulary so I know exactly what I am looking at on the screen.
The first term is fixed expenses. This is the money that basically has a lock on it every single month.
Like rent, car payments, and the insurance I just tried to skip paying.
Exactly. A fixed expense stays the same price. It also happens on a predictable schedule.
So these are the foundation of the map. They are the major highways you absolutely have to drive on.
That is a great way to put it. They matter because this is the money you cannot recalculate away.
Right. Moving rent money to buy a new jacket is a bad idea. I would have a terrible month.
How would you explain fixed expenses if a friend asked you about them at coffee?
I would say they are the mandatory bills. They keep my life running and keep me out of trouble.
That is perfect. Now, the second term is variable expenses. These are still needs, but the price changes.
This is where the map starts getting a little tricky for me.
Your grocery bill is a perfect example. You have to eat, but the total changes depending on what you buy.
Or my gas tank. I have to commute, but the cost depends on how much driving I did.
Exactly. A variable expense matters because it is a necessity, but you have some control over the final number.
So this is where I can start making small adjustments if things get tight.
Yes, you cannot skip buying groceries entirely, but you can choose cheaper items to save $20.
That gives me a little breathing room. How would I define a variable expense in my own words?
Give it a try. What is the easiest way to remember it?
It is a bill I absolutely have to pay, but I can steer the price up or down a little bit.
You got it. The third term is discretionary spending. This is the most flexible part of your entire map.
This sounds like the fun money, the stuff I actually enjoy buying on a normal weekend.
Yes, discretionary spending is money you choose to spend on things you want. It is not for things you need.
Like ordering pizza, buying a video game, or grabbing a coffee on the way to work.
Exactly. It matters because this is the very first place you should look when you need to recalculate.
Because if I cut my pizza fund to pay the electric bill, nothing bad actually happens.
Right. You might be mildly annoyed that night, but your lights stay on and your car is insured.
Okay, so if I have to translate discretionary spending, I would say it is the extra stuff.
That is a clear start. How does that help you when you need to fix a broken budget?
It means I can pause the extra stuff if the map breaks. I just shift that money over.
That is an excellent translation. You know exactly which numbers are locked and which ones can move.
Honestly, just knowing I have flexible money makes the strict bills feel a lot less intimidating.
Let us test this vocabulary with one more scenario.
I am ready. I know my fixed and variable categories now.
Imagine you check your bank account on a Thursday morning before coffee.
That is already a dangerous start to my day. I usually avoid the app.
Ha ha ha. You open the app and see a charge for a premium delivery subscription.
Oh, that stings! I signed up for a free trial and completely forgot to cancel.
It is a common trap. The $90 charge has already cleared the bank.
So my checking account is suddenly $90 lighter. I am frustrated before I even start my workday.
Exactly. Your budget is technically broken. What is your first move?
My first instinct is to complain. Then I recalculate to cover the $90.
Yes. Where do you find the money in your map?
My rent is not due for 2 weeks. I would probably just pull the money from there.
Let us slow this down. Remember the map rules we just talked about.
Rent is a fixed expense. It is a locked number that does not change.
Exactly. Borrowing from a fixed expense creates a major emergency. You just push the pain forward.
Right. I am just delaying the panic until the landlord expects the full amount. That is how the shame builds up.
You cannot touch rent or insurance. Try the recalculation again.
I need to look at my variable expenses or my discretionary spending instead.
That is the perfect place to start. Which one do you check first?
I could lower my grocery budget for the week, but $90 is a massive cut to my food plan.
It is. That makes the week too difficult. You usually end up ordering takeout anyway because you feel deprived.
So I look at my discretionary spending, my entertainment and weekend takeout categories.
How does it feel to look there instead of the housing money?
It is annoying to lose my fun money. I can pull 40 from takeout and 50 from entertainment.
And just like that, the detour is managed. The budget is accurate again.
I did not put my housing at risk just to cover a forgotten delivery app. That is a relief.
That is a massive win. You kept the foundation safe. How would you use this tonight?
I would look at my app and mentally lock up all the fixed expenses first.
Just draw a clear boundary around the money you absolutely cannot touch.
Once those are protected, I know exactly how much flexible money I actually have.
That removes the fear of making a wrong move.
It takes the guesswork out. I know exactly what can bend.
We have a simple action plan with 3 steps to make this a habit. You can do this tonight.
I am writing this down. What is the first step to get this started?
First, log in and write down your fixed expenses so you know your locked numbers.
That protects the absolute necessities like rent and insurance.
Second, identify your single most flexible discretionary category.
For me, that is definitely the weekend dining out fund.
Third, the next time an unexpected charge hits, immediately move money from that flexible category.
Do it right away instead of pretending the charge did not happen.
Exactly. You process the detour while you are still calm. It prevents the budget from breaking completely.
I really like that plan. It is just 3 small decisions that keep me safe.
We want to hear how this approach works for you.
I know I have my own problem areas that always mess up my math.
Here is the question for the comments. What is the one flexible category that always breaks your plan?
You can write one word in the comments: groceries, takeout, gas, or subscriptions.
Naming the problem area makes it much easier to plan a safe detour next time.
I feel much better about opening my app today. I finally know how to fix the math without feeling shame.
Do not forget to share your most flexible category down in the comments. We want to know which one usually forces you to recalculate.
Just naming the category is the best way to stop hiding from it. You can simply write groceries, takeout, gas, or subscriptions.
That is the real point of making a financial plan. It is never about forcing yourself to be completely perfect every single week.
It is just about knowing where your money is actually going and giving yourself permission to change direction when normal life happens.
Exactly. A budget is just a personal map designed to keep your daily stress levels down. It is supposed to help you, not punish you.
Moving a few numbers around means you are paying attention. It proves that you are in control of the detour.
That control is exactly how you build real confidence over time. You stop fearing the unexpected expenses because you know how to adapt.
I am definitely going to practice moving $5 tonight. It feels really good to know the map will not shatter.
Thank you for sitting down with us today at Money Cafe America. I'm Maya.
And I'm Ethan. Remember that adjusting your plan is just normal driving, not a failure.